Hi, welcome to the second video. Well, this is not the second take. I posted a short because the door was like kind of being weird, and I know I said I'm posting the first take, but technically speaking, I posted that. It was just a short, not a video. So this is the second video, and as I said, I'll be covering the song, not covering, but yeah, talking about "Promise Me" by Tatsuya Kitani. So how I'm going to be doing the songs is I'll be singing along here and there whilst then, you know, reading out the translation and also explaining the meaning of the song and why I think, you should hop onto J-pop because the these lyrics are absolutely insane. Like just not just this song, but just in general, I don't know. They're just crazy. And I feel like a lot of people are missing out on the songs. Like, yeah, they sound catchy and all, but once you hear the meanings of the songs and you like think, wow, that's what they meant by that, I think you start to appreciate J-pop a lot more. So, yeah, this is Promise Me by Tatsuya Kitani. Before I even go any further, I just I don't know if this is a thing that a lot of people do. I'm not sure, but I feel like with J-pop, you know that raw sound, like when you hear the breath of the person singing. I think quite a few songs cut that out. But now with J-pop, you can hear the person breathing. You hear the maybe I'm glazing a bit too much. Okay, let me start the song. Promise Me by Tatsuya Kitani. 私が親しいならいくつかくよりドルが乗るでしょうあの人見つだけ出したけど死のことをする姿と私が親しいなら誰にどれにダメかだとしよう冗談で済んだ言葉冗談で済んでくれたけどAnd you hear that? Do you hear the beat? And then the doo 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 doo. 確か親しいなら少し先のないよ夢見を新しくまめる街はまだ私よりも遠いでしょう私が親しいなら世界を乗る言葉の残そう今日という風間の正も音楽にして出られましょう私に耳にしないでいてくれてありがとう I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Did you hear the build up? Oof, 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 oof. Where's that part? Where's that part? And then the build up in the strings, and then the. Alright, but let me cover that first part. So that's the first verse and second verse. First verse says, if I were to die tomorrow, I would have a few regrets. That I was called to that person, that I was too afraid to die. If I were to die tomorrow, who would I thank and how much? For my death words, which I said as a joke, remained only a joke. So yeah, I think a lot of us know about that notion. Some motivational speakers talk about it as well to say, you should act like you're going to die tomorrow, like today's your last day, so that you give the day a bit more energy. But in this song, I feel like it's a bit different, because he's saying if I were to die tomorrow, I'd have a few regrets. Meaning to say that he hasn't done everything that he's wanted to do, and that he lists down a few regrets, that I was too cold to that person, that I was too afraid to die. Now, this one I relate to so much because just a little bit of background. I was not the nicest person in high school due to the fact that in primary school I was bullied. So when I got to high school, I wanted to turn things around and, essentially treat people the same way I was treated when I was in primary school. So I was a bully in high school and not the nicest person. You know, you can ask a few a few people probably won't be happy to know that I'm still alive. But yeah, so that's one of the regrets I had to say that, I really could have been nicer to people, you know. And I think a few other people have got those regrets, that I was cold to that person and then that I was too afraid to die. Now, this one, let me deep it for you. So I usually make the joke. It's not a joke as such, but I usually say, man, I wish I could die. man, I want to die. Now, when I say that, people misinterpret it because what I mean by that, and this is something I've started doing recently. Okay, so I understand if people still think I'm suicidal, but that's not the point nowadays. When I say I want to die, I'm basically saying I want to live because the truth of the matter is, if you want to live, you're going to have to die. There's no life without death. It's not life if you can't die at the end of it. So yeah, I know the wording is weird. I might as well just say I want to live. But I literally say I want to die because I want to emphasize in my head and express the fact that I'm willing to die. And the fact that I'm willing to die means I'm willing to live. Because we shouldn't be afraid of death. If we're afraid to die, then that means we're afraid to live. And we won't live our lives out as much as we should or could, you know. So that's genuine. That's actually why I relate to this song so much. Anyway, if I were to die tomorrow, who would I thank and how much? Again, saying that if this is my last day, what am I going to do? Now, this part I don't understand. For my death words, which I said as a joke, remained only a joke. I'm a bit confused by that one. I actually can't explain that one. I need someone else to tell me what he meant by that because that's confusing. Yeah. John Dan do shine no kotoba John Dan de sunde kure ta koto. I don't know what that means. If I figure it out or if someone figures it out, please let me know so that I don't know, we can talk about it because that's confusing. And in the second verse, if I were to die tomorrow, I'll dream of a future a little further ahead. This one confuses me because he's saying if I were to die tomorrow, I'll dream of a future a little further ahead. But if you're to die tomorrow, why would you think of the future if you're going to die tomorrow? That one's also a bit confusing. The new life that will be born will at least be more precious than mine. All right, so basically saying that, that notion of when you get older, the youth become more important because they are our future. What? Is that what he meant by that? Wait, I think these two lines are together. If I were to die tomorrow, I'll dream of a future a little further ahead. The new life that will be born will at least be more precious than mine. So is he thinking about... He's dreaming of a future further ahead because he values the youth more than himself, the ones that are younger more than himself. I don't know. Tatsuya is not that old. I think Tatsuya is like late 20s, if not early 30s. I'll double check. But he's not that old. And then he goes on to say, if I were to die tomorrow, I would leave behind words that curse the world. Facts. I respect that. I would turn the worthlessness of this day into a song and let it save myself. Oof. 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 Why did I feel that? I don't know what that means, but why did I feel that so much? But I relate to leaving behind a curse, leaving behind words that curse the world, because we all know what's going on. The world is not cooking. There's a lot that we're not doing right, and it's so hard to say it whilst we're alive with all our, like, the multiple things that are stressing us on a daily basis. It's so hard to deal with that, but I relate to that. Leave behind words that curse the world, and hopefully the world would learn from the words that I've left behind, from my death and from what I've said after I've died. So I think that's what he's trying to say. And then you're saying, I'll turn the worthlessness of this day into a song and let it save myself. I think he's basically saying the worthlessness of maybe the day that he wrote this song, like he felt like that it was a worthless day because, he just wrote the song. He didn't do anything else. But this song is not just saving himself, but also a lot of other people. I feel like it saved me because it's helped me to really think about my life decisions and what to do before I die. All right, then the pre-chorus says, thank you, world, for leaving me in the dark. I think those are the curse words that he was referring to. And then the chorus. Oof, 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 the chorus. The chorus. No way. Hold on. I gotta. Let's take it back from here. 約束だよもしも自分を季節だがなってしまったら約束だよ私に触れた時の優しさを思い出してよもしもあなたが明日死んだら誰寝るよあなたが明日も来たら嫌いな夜全部で出るそうあなたが明日も来たら君の何やるすべて通し遅刻なんかならなめよあなたがしかダメにならな This chorus is powerful. So it says yakusok dayo, which is promise me. If you ever feel like hurting yourself, promise me, remember the tenderness which you touched me with. So he's basically saying, if you ever feel like hurting yourself, he's talking to a specific person, and I feel like this can go out to you guys as well. To say that if you ever feel like hurting yourself, remember the kindness that you've shown other people, you know, because what we usually do as human beings is we beat ourselves up, right? And we're just so fixated on our lives and whatnot that we actually can't see the good that we're doing for other people, and we're not translating that good into our own lives, you know. I felt that. I felt that. And I feel like there are a lot of people out there that just, they feel like their lives are absolutely worthless. But I can tell you now for a fact, because that's not true. You know, there's someone out there who appreciates your existence. And you shouldn't take yourself out of the equation. I feel like you should keep living. You know, there's someone out there you're saving. I know it sounds so cliche, it sounds stupid. It's some protagonist, I'm saving someone by existing. But the truth of the matter is, there's someone out there who appreciates existence. I remember the other day, again, as I said, I was suicidal a long time ago. But like there was a day when I was just thinking, man, I honestly wish I just wasn't here. And then I walked outside and my dog had puppies recently. And I just looked at the puppies and, puppies are adorable. They're cute, kawaii, just near. And I just thought to myself, I was like, you know, if I were to die today, who would take care of these puppies? And I was like, damn, that's deep. So there's something that you're doing right now that you don't know you're doing because you're so busy with life and just trying to make ends meet. But there's something you're doing right now that no one else is doing that we should appreciate you for. So promise me, literally promise me, if you ever feel like hurting yourself, remember the tenderness you touched me with, or you touched other people with. Tatsuya, damn, you're cooking, bro. Oh my days. And then he says, if you live to see tomorrow. So now he's talking to, he's talking to the person, still talking to the person. If you live to see tomorrow, go out in your favorite clothes. If you live to see tomorrow, paint over all the colors that you hate. If you live to see tomorrow, even today, which will be yesterday, will be lovable. In this hell, let's laugh once in a while. If you live to see tomorrow. This part right here, go out in your favorite clothes, paint over all the colors you hate. Even today, which will be yesterday, will be lovable. And in this hell, let's laugh once in a while. He's just basically saying, look, this life is hard. We all know that. This life is difficult. But we're here. We are alive. We got to appreciate it. And we just got to live through it. But let's find the happiness in that. Let's leave all the things that we hate behind. Like, yes, they might be right up in our face, but let's have a positive perspective. You know, if you live to see tomorrow, because the writer of the song is dead. He's gone, but you're not. Okay, I know Tatsuya is still alive. I'm just saying, like, I'm speaking from the perspective of the person in the song, right? I think that's what he was trying to do. Yeah, live your best life. I know it's hard, and I'm such a hypocrite for saying live your best life because I'm one of those people that's just like, damn, I'm so tired. But if you live to see tomorrow, in this hell, let's laugh once in a while. Like, yeah, life is bad. It's tough, but let's try and be happy. Let's try and appreciate it. Damn, Tatsuya, bro, on my days. Oh, man, I can't. Anyway, where were we? So now we're going on to the third verse. It feels like it's the second for me because how can you have two verses before the chorus? But anyway, let's listen to that. あなたが視界に来たら背中で全部の上手でどうし自己がなでなるまでなめをあなただがしかないにならな私がしたしならおしゃれしので誰々をそう髪を切ったねでまでなのにあなたで泣いたで誰でしょう私がしたしならしばらくなんてでなるでしょうポストに立ったでとやせをこれじゃねえでてめでれるでしょう私がしたしなら残されてるかの目にを悲しみなれたでと出して一緒に照らして寝れるでしょう私がしたしなら幸さってはいびなでいいでしょうおこくでせてからがねねにその綺麗な面で寝れるでしょう And this part right here with the voices in the back and then the string section. Piano's going crazy the whole song and then the beautiful. Amazing. Beautiful. This song is beautiful. This song is beautiful. Okay. This song is beautiful. Ah, damn. Right. If I were to die tomorrow, I would stop looking at the pictures because I would miss you as much as the afternoon of the day I had my haircut. Now, I don't know if Tatsuya was being funny by saying this. As I said, I don't really know him that well. I'm trying to find more interviews and just like his daily interactions with people. But I think he was trying to be funny by saying I would miss you as much as the afternoon of the day I had my haircut. So sometimes as guys, we go to the barber, you know, trying to get a fresh cut and then the barber messes it up. You do not want to see a person you value that same day. You'd rather just cancel the appointment. Just be like, you know what, nah, I'm sorry, like something happened. Because you don't want them to see that terrible haircut if it didn't work out. I don't know if that's what he meant. But I just want to backtrack to I'd stop looking at the pictures. I think he's talking about looking back, like being so fixated on the past instead of actually being in the present. I think that's what he means by that. And it gets deeper here. If I were to die tomorrow, no one would notice for a while. Damn. That's crazy. I don't know. That's actually crazy. Then the missed notices that have accumulated in my mailbox would take the place of my burial marker. That one was deep. That's deep. That's deep. I don't know what Tatsuya was going through to be writing this, but yo. And then he says, if I were to die tomorrow, I would think of you, the one I left behind. You would only make the sorrows into a bouquet and burn it with me. If I were to die tomorrow, go back to your daily routine the day after tomorrow. Basically saying that if I were to die tomorrow, don't mourn me for too long. And I don't know if Tatsuya reads the Bible. Again, I really just need to talk to this guy in my days. But I know in the Bible, there's a part, for the Christian Bible, there's a part where it says, when Jesus says, I hope I'm quoting this correctly, don't mourn the dead for too long. Let the dead mourn themselves. I think he was basically saying that if you then lose your life because someone else has lost their life, then you've dishonored their death. You know, if you really want to honor someone's death, yes, mourn them, right? Cry about it, but don't let it destroy your life too. Because not only will one person die, but then another person will die. And that just removes or destroys the value of the person who has just passed on. I think that's what he meant by that. That's just so deep. And then he goes on to say, you would squint your fair eyes in the sunshine of a world that is once again on the move. Again, relating to what he was saying, that just go back to your daily routine. And yeah, fair and fine. Life is different now that that person is gone. I relate to this so much because it took me a while to get over the fact that my father was dead. when I was like 6 years old, and I let his death affect me for so long. But then I ended up finding value in his death, and I ended up being able to tell myself that I should honor him by living, by living the way he would have wanted me to live. And I know my father wanted me to be happy. So I stopped beating myself up for existing and started saying, you know what? Let me live for him and for everyone else who I can help. And you have to do the same. I think that's what Tatsuya is saying here. I don't know how did he write this? How did he do? I don't know. I don't know how he did this. And then he goes on. So after that beautiful instrumental part, yeah. You have to listen to the song. The song is insane. Chorus now. For example, if one day a loneliness like a shower hits you, I wonder if you'll be okay. Use even this song as an umbrella and somehow get away with it. Use this song as a way to remind yourself that you're still alive, that you're valued, that you're worth the price, that if you're a Christian, you're worth the price that Jesus Christ paid. If you are whatever religion is, you are worth being created, and you are valuable, you are loved, you're appreciated, and you have so much value. Remember that. Promise me, if you can't remember well how to breathe, promise me, let out your tears as if muttering, singing. Promise me, and listen to me. If you live to see tomorrow, the day after tomorrow will already be the same for you. If you live to see tomorrow, spend it like it's your birthday. People value birthdays so much, to get a cake, get presents, get everything. But like a birthday is just you turning a year older, Spend every day like it's your birthday. Appreciate the fact that today you are 19 years old one day. Tomorrow you're 19 years old 2 days old. Is that the correct English? I don't know. The next day you're 19 years 3 days old. Yeah, that's it. And so on and so on. Appreciate every single day, because there's no guarantee you're going to make it to your birthday. You might be planning your birthday, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. The energy that you're planning for your special day, the day that you were born, is the same energy you should have every day. And we forget that so much. Tatsuya, man, he was cooking. Spend every day like it's your birthday. It's so hard. I know. It's hard. It's hard to have the same energy every day. It's hard to wake up and be happy every day when you know it's a Monday, you're going back to work, the office was burning on Friday, and I have to deal with Friday's troubles. But appreciate the little things. Be happy. You don't have to wait for your birthday to be happy. Every single day, do your best. Even if it's a hard day, the worst things have happened. Tatsuya doesn't care. The person in the song doesn't care. I don't care. You shouldn't care. Live your best life. If you live to see tomorrow, you will face the same painful days. Make a pinky promise to this song, and you'll live on ever after. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't translated correctly, but if I'm looking at the lyrics here in Japanese, I need to double check what that word is. I feel like he's saying live on happily ever after. Because it says, Anata wa ashita mo ikite ukunda. I need to double check what that's translated to. But I think he's saying, promise me, promise me. You don't know who, you might not know who Tatsuya is. You might not know whoever's telling you to promise yourself the song. You don't know who I am. But I can safely say that Tatsuya, the person in the song, myself, we're all saying, make a promise to yourself and promise us, promise me that you'll live your best life, no matter what happens. No matter the number of mistakes that you've made, no matter what reputation you may have, promise me that from today onwards, you live your best life. And then the last saying, the last statement in the song says, promise me that. Damn. I think just take a moment to let this sink in. And to cut a long, long, long explanation short, please, I don't know who you are, and you don't know who I am, and I don't care. Promise me that you'll live your best life, no matter what. If I were to die tomorrow, promise me that if you see tomorrow, you'll be happy, no matter what. Yeah. So that's Promise Me by Tatsuya Kitani. I know it's a lengthy video. It's like, whoa, I think I might have to cut it into parts. Maybe I'll do like 3 parts. And maybe I should start doing that with future videos to say, I'll cover the first 2 verses, do the chorus, then do the next 2 verses, chorus, and then the final part of the song. And I'll try and release them like one after the other. But yeah, no, the song is crazy. It's insane. It's an insane song. And this is just one of the few J-pop songs that have got so much meaning. You know, besides the fact that it's a banger. It's a banger. The music, the instruments, the string section, the guitar shredding it, the bass in the background, and Tatsuya's voice. Tatsuya's voice is amazing. I wish I could sing like Tatsuya. My word, that's amazing. But most importantly, promise yourself, promise me that you live your best life. This is Chichushita signing out. If you like the video, please look forward to the next one. Our next video is Where Our Blue Is. And I really have to sit down for that one and look at the lyrics again and try and figure out what he meant by it, because I just love it. I just love the sound of the song. It's a banger, but I still haven't understood what it really means. So I'm going to look into it. If, you know, I can't really find the meaning of it, I'm still going to just describe whatever I understand. And then for those parts that I may have missed out and may not have explained properly, please do let me know in the comment section. As I said, or I hope I said this at the beginning of the video, I'm not an expert. I'm not the best literature student. You know, I last did literature in what, Form 4, which is like when I was 16, and I wasn't the best. So again, I'm not correct. I might be wrong in certain things, and I'm disclosing this now to say that this is just my opinion. You know, your opinion is your opinion, my opinion is mine. If I'm wrong in some regards, please do let me know so that I can correct myself. And then when I'm telling other people about the song, especially those that are going through a tough time, I can really explain to them properly and hopefully save them the way the song and other people have saved me too. And it'll be very hard for this to get to Tatsuya, but Tatsuya, if you see this video, thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. You saved me. And I'm sure he saved a lot of other people. So thank you, Tatsuya. And thank you, viewers, for watching this.